I'm Mike Bear from Free Speech Media. Can you tell me your first name?
Dee.
Dee. What brings you out today?
We want to attend a Christmas parade, and since they're all canceled, we're coming here.
It's hard to believe that they canceled the. It's almost indescribable what's going on.
Yes, it is indescribable.
It's unprecedented, these violations of human and civil rights that's taking place here in Canada. How do you think it could happen?
How do you think it could happen? I guess the public was not really aware of what was going on with the politicians. The politicians were doing things behind the scenes that we weren't aware of, and they're just making up rules.
Such as colluding with China or the big pharma or what?
There's apparently, people way up behind the scenes that are making the rules and want to get us all depressed, and I don't want to be depressed.
It's exactly what's happening, isn't it? I mean, when people are in fear and stressed out, it affects their cortisol, and the cortisol actually depresses their immune system and makes them weak and easily sick.
That's correct. Yeah. So I refuse to get depressed and to let this Christmas be a wash. I want everybody to have fun, and I want to be a part of it.
Would you say you were born a happy person, or did it come later on in life?
No, I think I'm sort of average, but no.
You've been able to manage to keep your sense of humor. You must not watch CNN or something.
No, I definitely do not watch CNN.
What do you watch?
I guess I watch a lot of social media. I read a lot of books, so
That's great.
I'm aware.
Reading seems to be a dying pastime these days, like actual hard copy books.
Well, actually, you'll find a lot of truth about what's going on now. If you do a lot of reading, there's quite a few books about how this was all pre-planned.
Can I recommend one of those books to you?
Okay, sure. What?
It was written by a guy named Friedrich Hayek, and the book is called The Road to Serfdom, and it is an incredible book. Hayek was actually a Nobel Prize winning economist, and he was a very intelligent man and knew a lot about political philosophy. But the nice thing about this book is it was designed for the general public, so it's not like you need a degree in economics and political philosophy to understand it. They even made an actual cartoon version of the book.
They did?
It is. It's incredible.
I didn't know that.
It's
Okay.
really incredible. I think Reader's Digest adapted his book and made it into a cartoon.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's incredible. I can actually show you a copy. I have it in my car right over there.
Sure, I'd love to see that.
But the book is really, I can't recommend it highly enough, and it lays out exactly what's happening. It's step by step. All of these lockdown measures, the masks, they're dehumanizing people. They're doing it on purpose. They're trying to crush their spirit, and they're testing to see how many people are willing to conform. And it seems like most people are.
Yeah, most people are, but I already knew because I worked in healthcare before. I don't want to say where, but I already knew there's no such thing as asymptomatic transmission.
Exactly.
And
They just did a huge Chinese study that showed there was like 10,000 participants, right? And they tracked all the people that were infected. And if they didn't have, if they were asymptomatic, there was no spread of the virus.
Well, Wuhan in China only locked down for 1 month and returned to normal, and they're
Aren't they
packing
running
them in.
like tourism ads now? Their Wuhan actually wants people to visit.
All I know is that I still see videos of them packing them in the subway. They got their masks on, but they're all like shoved in there. And yet in North America and in most of Europe, they're saying about the 6 feet thing, which is there's no scientific basis of that.
Well, the ridiculous thing is that the aerosols from your mouth can travel up to 30 meters.
Right.
So what is 6 feet going to do for you? Nothing.
Nothing, yeah. So.
And the masks, there's been 40 years of scientific evidence that they do, for the general public, these paper and cloth masks do nothing to stop the spread of viruses.
Right, well, because...
So how did it happen? How did some powerful politician decide, we all have to wear a mask now? How did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen? St. Mike's Hospital, the nurses, there was a lawsuit back in 2016-17, and I read the whole document. I was aware of that, where they wanted to take a vaccination or to wear the mask.
Yeah.
So there was a huge research, so I read the whole document, and in 2017, anyone could find that document that masks are not effective.
No.
They're not needed, so the nurses were not needing, at St. Mike's, which is just over here, they're not needing to wear a mask as of that year. I don't know about now.
Well, there's a mountain of evidence. There's been 40 years of it, and they just threw it all out the window. It seems like the whole world went and panicked and went insane, and the Chinese were able to export their authoritarian style rule around the whole world. How in the hell does it's unprecedented that we have a lockdown of healthy people based on some pseudoscience. It just seems insane to me. I just don't understand it at all.
Right, and again, if you read government documents, which there are, if people want to investigate, that apparently if you look at the past 4 years and you look at this year, if there was a pandemic, which I don't like that word, you would see an increase in the total number of deaths in Canada or North America. You don't. In fact, I think it's like 200 deaths less this year.
Yeah.
So if you put that up against what they're showing on TV,
can I tell you something?
somebody's lying. Like, who's lying? Somebody's lying.
Yes.
And nurses are coming here to Toronto to say that the emergencies are empty. They don't know of anybody that has COVID. I know thousands of people. No one I've met yet. I talk to homeless people everywhere. Hamilton, Toronto, Ottawa. I haven't met a homeless person that has been hospitalized.
Yeah.
They don't know anybody that's been hospitalized for COVID or has died. So
the whole thing's a big scam, right? I mean, even the PCR test, the inventor of the PCR test said it's not suitable for doing what they're doing. They're not detecting actual transmissible illness.
That's
they're
correct.
Detecting like something you might have. Old coronavirus, what you might have had like years ago, some broken strand of RNA. It's just absurd that they're using these, and the number of cycles that they're using. At 45 cycles, you get almost 100% false positives.
So you're very well educated, because Carrie Mullis, who's the inventor of the PCR test, who invented it years ago, not even related to now, said it does not test any virus, and he said the same thing. It's basically a way of examining things in terms of magnifying things. So it depends on how many magnifications. So if you took a table and your tabletop and you think it was clean, if you took a I'm nervous. If you take a microscope and keep magnifying it, I'm sure you'd see little bits of salt or dust if you looked hard enough. So it's sort of the same comparison. And so even when my child, which I won't say her name, was very young and she threw up a lot, and she would get the rotavirus from picking up sticks or something and putting it in her mouth when she's like one, and she'd throw up. And I went to this specialist a number of times, and I remember this recently, that when I went to take her to see the specialist, pediatrician, at least 2 times, and I said, is there any test for that? And she said at that time, and I just remember this in the fall of this year, she said there's no test for any virus.
No, there isn't.
So I remember this. This is back in 2004.
Because they can't isolate them. They've never been able to isolate any of these viruses.
So, well, thank you so much. I would like to get that book.
I really appreciate that.
I would love to get a copy of that book.
So I'm glad you took the time to talk to me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.